Big news in Indianapolis. Their quarterback, Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, Danny Pennies, whatever you want to call him, out for the season with the torn Achilles, wishing him a speedy recovery. But because the Indianapolis Colts are still in the thick of the AFC playoff race, they need a new quarterback. And Riley Leonard's not the answer, 6th-round rookie. He might be hurt this weekend. They don't like any other options. Anthony Richardson, their former top 5 overall pick, still dealing with the broken face after he hit himself with an elastic band. I don't know how that happened. So because of that, they're dipping into the Canton Hall of Fame category. Phillip Rivers, who is eligible to be enshrined in 2026, has just been signed to their practice squad. He has not played football in about 5 years. If he gets signed to the active roster, not only will he be the oldest quarterback in the NFL by far, he will also have restarted his Hall of Fame case another 5 years. So it's a double whammy for Phillip Rivers.
I'm disgusted. Can I tell you that?
Why are you disgusted?
I'm absolutely disgusted. Today, is this on?
It's on.
Today is one of those days when I hate the National Football League. Because you know why? It sounds like an old Negro spiritual when I heard the news today. This is Old Man River.
Old Man River?
This is when the NFL is bad.
Why?
Because they're bringing Old Man River, the quarterback.
Old Man River.
You mean to tell me there's nobody else who could play football and quarterback the Colts?
River.
This guy hasn't played in 5 years. He's 44 years old. And you know what? This was the same league that 5 years ago, told me that Colin Kaepernick was too old and that Colin Kaepernick couldn't play. He was too rusty. He hadn't played in a while. This is the league that we have. I would have had more respect for the Colts had they said, Colin Kaepernick, put on a helmet, get a uniform. Come on, man, reclaim it. I'm still mad at the NFL players who allowed the owners to do what they did to Colin Kaepernick and take away his career because he cared about people. It makes me sick to think that Colin Kaepernick's career was taken from him and NFL players, mostly black, a league that's almost 70% black, turned the other way and allowed that to happen. And you know what this league is famous for? Nepotism, buddyism, cronyism, and here's another example. Let's go get a guy because we feel comfortable with him and we know he hadn't played in 5 years. There's nobody else on the planet who can come and quarterback the Colts and win you 2 games or a game and get you in the playoffs other than Old Man Rivers. Disgusting. No way. If you have any decency, you got to root for the Colts to lose every single game. That's how I feel. I want them to win enough games to keep the Chiefs out of the playoffs and then for them to lose.
I knew you wasn't that man. I was like, hold on. I knew there was levels to this madness. He was like, well, hold on. Pump the brakes. ABC, anybody but Chiefs. Old man Phillip Rivers. Man, listen, I thought the river ran dry. I didn't think it was anything left in that,
What,
Rob.
you Carly Simon?
Yeah, I'm saying 5 years. No, all jokes aside. I remember when Michael Vick stopped playing, right? He went to prison for 2 years. And they were like, oh, man, it's been 2 years. He's probably lost it. He was like 29 or whatever he was, 30, years old. And you mentioned Colin Kaepernick. I've screamed it to the heavens. Wasn't even on the show with you. You've screamed it. It made no sense for people to act like there were 64 other quarterbacks better than Colin Kaepernick.
But he couldn't play, right?
I'll give you. Fine. Maybe. Okay, he's not a starter. You're telling me he's not a backup? He's not good anymore. And then you start to run down the Nathan Petermans of the NFL who were in there like, stop it. So I'm glad you brought that up. The idea that Colin Kaepernick's 2 years at the time, 3 years at the time away, 4 years, he couldn't play. Because Phillip Rivers, again, has been gone for 5 years. Now, let's get into this a little bit more. This is also an indictment on the NFL. Quarterbacking. You're telling me there's not somebody else around that they can find? There's not a younger person around they can make it. Hey, we'll give you a 6th-round pick, 7th-round pick for your backup player X. I understand the familiarity. I understand that he's been with the organization. He played well, 11-5 back in 2020.
What they win?
You know what else happened in
Phillip Rivers
2020?
win? Did he win something that I'm missing?
The world went through the world stopped in 2020. You know how much more we've been through? A crazy election cycle, summer of George Floyd. Like, so much has happened in the 5 years. And he's 5 years older, Rob. It's not as if he was 30. Now he's 35. He's 44. We joke about Aaron Rodgers being old at 41.
He's older than Aaron Rodgers.
We're asking Phillip Rivers to come in and save the day, to be better than what Tom Brady was at his age. Even at his peak, he was never better than Tom Brady. You get what I'm saying? So, hey, come back 5 years later, you're 44, and come steer this ship. And mind you, well, he's got to, be good enough to win a game or two for them to get in the postseason. What's the postseason plan? Is the postseason plan to continue with Phillip Rivers? So this is an indictment either on the NFL as a whole, that there are not that many good quarterbacks laying around, or that the Colts are just like, we don't care about it. We only want to go get
No, it tells you about how bad the Colts are. And the cronyism, this is the same organization that hired Jeff Saturday, who had no coaching experience, okay? How many blunders
gone wrong.
Right, how many blunders are you going to do? For real, a 44-year-old quarterback out of the league for 5 years.
That's the thing. He hasn't been a backup for 5 years.
You guys go back and read the stories about Colin Kaepernick and how
too long. He doesn't have it anymore.
He doesn't have it anymore. He's too old. You know how old Colin Kaepernick now, and he hasn't played in 5 or 6 years? He's 38. He's 38. He's 6 years younger.
Yeah. And they were saying this when he was like 30, 31.
That he was
32.
done and he couldn't play anymore. He was too rusty. Instead, this is where we are.
Old man Rivers is crazy.
What year is this? Are you serious? The Indianapolis Colts have just signed Old Man River. I'm in a bad plantation movie that I'm watching instead of the NFL. What is this?
They I always talk about the break in case of emergency. The Steelers had that with Russell Wilson, or some other teams had, a really good back. You went back, and first of all, he has enough children. He could have been a coach of his own football team. You know what I mean? Like, and the idea that they went and got him, like, we live in L.A. He was a Charger who, of course, they finally went from San Diego to L.A. This sounds like an L.A. Charger thing because this will actually be a movie, something made for Hollywood. Wasn't Dennis Quaid in the movie? Is this necessary roughness?
I know what happened. Their general manager, Chris Ballard, was watching a rerun of Gone with the Wind and figured out, like, I could get my quarterback from that. Let me go get Old Man River to quarterback me because I gave up too much for a DB, 2 first-round picks.
Right.
I put all my eggs in
the
eggs in the basket. Like seriously. Are you distraught like I am, disgusted?
Anthony
by the
Richardson
Colts?
got to be so mad right now.
And the NFL, this is what we have? That's the first thing I thought about today. Old Man River is going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. 877-99 on Fox. Are you offended like I am that the Colts brought in Phillip Rivers out of retirement?
He was on the NFL Hall of Fame ballot. That's crazy.
We wanted, and even that's questionable. 877-99 on Fox. 877-996-6369. We want to hear from you, whether you're from the Confederate States or the Union. 877-99 on Fox.
I'm not dealing with y'all today. All right, Rob, so they're watching us right now, which means another thing they can do is what?
They can subscribe. All you got to do is hit that button, subscribe to The Odd Couple for some of the best sports talk content in the nation.
Facts, and while you're at it, they can like, they can comment, they can share. Do all that for us. We appreciate it. Just do all that right up in here.